yellow line, I pay no mind, but there's no shoulder, just a canyon filled with boulders. And deep below, in the bosom of Dr. Susium Boojum trees, I spy with my little eye an old VW bus. Someone has driven off this road before. A tire iron cross, a road sign, a shrine to the dead, semi-straight ahead. It rips by, and inches from the mirror, I am inches from the edge, and the sign ahead of me reads, "Curvas peligrosos." Yeah, these are dangerous curves, and shaken, I am prone to introspection. I begin to see each sign as a Zen nugget of wisdom guiding me not on this road trip, but on my expeditions and in my life. I turned it into a project in 2005. Really, I just made a bunch of t-shirts because I was so excited about the idea. The premise is simple. Signs tell us things if we see, but only if we see. That's a little bit cliche. I get it. But hear me out. I'm in La Paz getting my eyes checked, gotta get my shades right. In the optometrist, there's a sign that reads, "See well in order to serve and produce better." Now this strange Aztec headdress, inspiring some encultured nationalism in order to get your glasses, I couldn't help but look deeper. I see this as be mindful, pay attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the moment, and non-judgmental. Mindfulness is a habit. It's something that the more we do, the better we can become at. At this point, I should say that I tried to take a mindfulness class, but I got kicked out because I couldn't pay attention. Nonetheless, there are the signs. The irony of this sign is as rich as a Zen koan. If I wasn't obeying the signs, why would I obey the sign that told me to obey the signs? Yet still, I don't mistreat them. And there's something about the translation here. Here's my simple Spanish that gives me an opportunity to move from the literal into the figurative. I can see them for more than what they actually are. So here it is, No Tire Basura, one of the world's most beautiful highways, covered in garbage. People disrespect the sign. I see this one as, not don't throw garbage, but don't talk trash. On expedition and in life, I think sometimes we throw around our words, we talk smack, we talk shit, we gossip about people without having intention behind our words. And so much as we're learning to re-engineer waste into fuel, I encourage myself and others to re-engineer their trash talk into fuel for growth. Disminuye su velocidad. Diminish your velocity. It's not slow down. Don't speed up. Not a posted sign, but disminuye su velocidad. I read this one as calmate way, which in Baja is like chill, bro. In Chicago, it might be slow your roll. This is akin to Paul Petzol's cigarette theory. When the shit hits the fan, stop. Smoke a cigarette. And I don't mean to purvey tobacco products, but if you think about how many breaths are in a cigarette, just think about that. You could just breathe for 2 minutes. How many of us actually do that? Just a good reminder for myself. This one is just poetic. With high velocity, you increase your insecurity. I mean, we're getting deep here, all on the side of the road. This is a tope. Some topes are more endowed than others. And the thing about these speed bumps is that they often show up in unpredictable places. You'll be driving right up on it, and it's like, oh, speed bump. And so you have to slam on the brakes. And that can be a gut-wrenching, axle-breaking endeavor. And so I found with this is there's actually a technique that a few of us perfect, is that you slow all the way down, and then you gun it to get over the bump. Which my figurative interpretation here is, sometimes we need to speed up when things are telling us to slow down. It's not always a good time to have a consensus conversation. Curvas peligrosas, dangerous curves. As I illustrated earlier, these curves are everywhere. I found that there's no correlation between how dangerous the curve is and the posting of a sign, or the lack of a sign. As I illustrated earlier, sometimes it's challenging to know what's the hazard here. Is it an environmental hazard? Is it the curve that's dangerous, or is it the semi on the other side of it that's too big for the road? So with environmental hazards, contingency plans help us. We all know these, experiential and outdoor ed. And this is one at Pemex, the National Gas Station. And it's got exploding things and lightning bolts and good plans, but contingency plans aren't very good for the human hazard, for how we actually behave in these situations. So if I zoom in here, I just couldn't believe this. This is amazing to me. 3 men with no suits, no faces in suits. And it says here, maintain the calm in order to think better. That's step 1. This is one of my favorite. One time I got stuck on a beach for 10 days in Baja. And wind was blowing, norte was ripping at 60, 70 knots. We're in a sand beach, we're eating sand, we're running out of food, we're almost out of water. And we get up every morning and we look at the weather about 4 o'clock, feel the wind, and the student turns to me and says, I don't know if the waves are getting smaller or if I'm just really excited to get out of here. And so that's where this sign comes into play. Better late than never. This is a cow. A tetrahedral bovine, Picasso's sketches of bulls, a crescent moon for horns. I love this cow. But the cows haven't gotten the memo. They apparently don't know to ever cross at this sign. So it'd be easy to disregard this sign as useless information. Or we could use it as a bell of mindfulness, a cowbell, if you will. I made the t-shirts to remind myself. I think we could all use a little bit more cowbell in our lives. So this one encourages us to be mindful of mindfulness. Like I said, it's a habit. We have to try to do this. It's a habit we can develop, and without being mindful of mindfulness, we can't be mindful of communication, or mindful of velocity, or mindful of hazards. Lastly, we need to be mindful of respecting the nature. That's the end of the pavement. Thank you very much for your time.